Hey everyone, good morning. It is Kimmy. I am Mama on a Mission, and today my mission is going thrifting. Whoop! I am excited. I actually haven't been to a regular thrift store in weeks. I've been hitting up some garage sales and church sales and that kind of thing. So today I am, going to a regular thrift store and a Goodwill outlet bins, which is in a similar vicinity. Right now it is 7:15 in the morning. I have already dropped my boys off at school. I have a couple packages I'm going to run down and ship quickly and throw in my my mailbox. And then I'm going to be on my way. The Goodwill outlet bins and the regular thrift store open both at 9 a.m. and it's an hour drive for me out there. So I haven't done a video like this in a while, so I thought it would be fun to give it another shot and show you guys kind of what it's like to get out of the house, which is my favorite part of being a reseller, and going to find some things. So hopefully I find something exciting. If not, bread and butter all day. I am not sure, it's always interesting getting into garage sale, church sale type of season because your perspective kind of changes. I went to a bunch, there was a community garage sale, and it was kind of fun just to get back to, like, I'd be like, hey, how much are your clothes? And they're like, 50 cents, $1. I'm like, oh man, I almost forgot what it's like because we don't have garage sales like 8 months out of the year because here in Wisconsin, we just don't have the weather. And so the weather has finally gotten good enough that there's a ton of garage sales going on. And I do think people like to do them in spring when they're doing their spring cleaning here in Wisconsin and basically everywhere. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how my vibe is because sometimes I'm willing to pay up for things like at a regular thrift store and sometimes I'm not. And being that lately I have primarily been paying $1 for things, it'll be interesting to see how that goes for my sourcing. So I'm going to run down into my office, which is in the dungeon in my basement, and ship my items, and then I'm going to be on my way. All right, I'm down here in my shipping area, and I'm just getting, I only have a couple orders. I don't know what's going on. I have a inkling on what's going on with my eBay. It seems to have hit a stall. The other day, and I don't know if I missed an update or what. Back in the day, I used to do updates on this YouTube channel. If you don't know, I kind of made a brief stop in my YouTube channel because I kind of gave up on myself, and then I restarted it several months ago. But what I used to do is whenever there was any type of update, like Poshmark update, like a shipping update, eBay spring update, reseller update, all these things, I would post them. And I don't know if I missed a recent update because the other day I went to go do my shipping and I noticed in the shipping information, it said, you sold it this day. Make sure you not only ship it by this date, but also that it's scanned in by the post office at this time, which, I mean, is fair, makes sense. I'm sure people print out labels and don't ship their items for days and days and days. For me, part of the problem is, and I have to kind of change my strategy or my thought process is, sometimes I work during the day and my other part-time job, like working on that, and I don't get home until later in the afternoon, and especially if my sons have something going on, I might not do my shipping for that day until 7, 8 o'clock at night. Post office is closed, mailman already went by. So if I did sell something yesterday, because I have one business time handling, it says that it was supposed to be scanned in that next day, which I think is, let's see what the, I don't know, I got this little scratchy thing going on. So let's see if I can, if it says in here, in one of the items I'm about to ship. But the verbiage did not always say that. So I am thinking that a couple of my most recent orders, at some point, maybe I went to go print my labels, like after I had already done, like worked my first job or my other job during the morning, and since I didn't get it scanned in, that perhaps it's looking like I'm not doing my shipping on time. Is anybody even noticing this or have any thoughts on this? You guys chime in. You know, I wish it would say here, the verbiage was something like you had to get it scanned in. So even if you printed it, it didn't matter anymore. So, well, it does matter, but like you have to get it scanned in. So you guys let me know if you've noticed this, if you have any thoughts on this. I think maybe something there maybe kind of messed up my algorithm and gave me a little ding because I didn't actually get it scanned in the next day. It took the following day in order for it to get scanned. So if something sold Wednesday and I had to work on Thursday and I didn't get it scanned, I printed it and got it ready, but it didn't get scanned till Friday, I think that's now a ding on my algorithm or my account. That is my thought, because I noticed that like maybe a week ago and now my sales have been wah, wah, wah. So that's my thought. You guys tell me if you've noticed this. Either way, I'm getting these things thrown in my mailbox here because I don't want that to happen again. And I'm going to have to make sure I really hunker down on those days where I have to go do my other thing so that I'm not waiting too long to get it scanned. And I also wonder, what if your mailman doesn't scan it and you put it in the mailbox? Because that's happened to me many times before where I'm like, I know that's shipped, but it hasn't been scanned. And then like 2 or 3 days, it'll say like, oh, I'm in this post, you know, this sorting facility miles away, but it never got that other second scan. So what if the mailman doesn't scan it in? And that actually goes, and I need to get going here, to another thing that has always bothered me about the eBay shipping kind of process is I've gotten many like dings on my account that have said, well, it didn't deliver in the time that it stated. I can't help that USPS lost the package, or for some reason it was going to Texas and ended up in a California processing center, or those types of things. I've gotten a lot of little dings for that. And quite frankly, I don't think that's fair. I'm just going to be honest, because I'm like, once it's at the post office, it's out of my hands. So as long as I'm still getting it to them within the handling time period, if it takes 4 days on the other side of the country and ends up over there for some odd reason, so then it takes 2 days back to get to where it needs to go, I don't think that should be my fault. Do you guys know where I'm talking about? In your seller hub, you can go into your ding transactions. I don't know why I keep calling them dings, but they're like basically dings on your account. If you go into your performance, it'll say like, oh, transaction defect rate, late shipment rate. So that's where I get those little dings. It says late shipment rate. And the last time I ran this report, it said, here it is, late shipment rate, 82%. I ran the full report, and every single one of them was that it didn't get delivered on time. And then I went in and checked some of the tracking, and the packages had gotten lost for days and days at a time, like at a facility that didn't make any sense. And shipping carrier indicated late delivery. Buyer confirmed late delivery. Shipping carrier indicated late delivery. So that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Oh, I don't like to complain on here. Either way, that's the status. I'm going to finish the shipping, throw it in the mailbox, hope my mailman scans it the way he's supposed to, and I'm sure he will. We have a pretty good mailman here. But I know that's not the case all other places. And make my drive an hour away to go thrifting. Bye. Hey friends, I am so sorry. I feel absolutely terrible. I got to the regular Goodwill and I completely forgot to really videotape an introduction. So sorry, but I was in there for like 2.5 hours. You know, at the regular Goodwill, I do have a hard time because obviously I'm paying more for my items. And this particular Goodwill got rid of all the sales. There's no color off day. There's no senior discount. Not that I would get that, thankfully, not yet. But there's no discounts whatsoever. So whatever the price is what the price is. But somehow I managed to still spend about $200. I was really looking for some solid bread and butter, which I did find and do really well in, so that's good. You know, my bread and butter sales typically sell in the $20 range, so I'm taking items for $4 to $5, or hopefully less when they come from the bins, and then flipping them for $20, $25 over and over and over. And that's, like I say all the time, that's kind of the basis of my business. I found some really cute plus size stuff, some really nice dresses, boho dresses. So I think those are all gonna do really well. So I'm excited about that. This Goodwill is super busy. People are always watching you. You know, I don't know what it is. Look at it. That's my box full of stuff back there. You see those colorful prints? I'm really excited about all of those. I don't know what it is. Some people, maybe I'm just not brave enough yet. They videotape in the stores with no problems. They aren't bothered by who goes by. I still am not brave enough to really do that a whole lot. I get nervous and mine are super busy. So maybe I'm a baby. I'm probably a baby, guys. But I don't really get a whole lot of footage inside the stores, but I will show you guys eventually, you know, this haul. But for now, I'm headed to the bins. I spent too much time at the regular Goodwill, which is okay, because I was finding solid bread and butter items, some nice plus size items. And now I am going to head over to the bins. I only have like 1 or 2 hours before I have to go get my kids. So I'm always like in a rush from dropping here, going there, going there. I got myself a lunch. I do not live by a Chick-fil-A, and I am obsessed with chicken. Like, chicken's kind of my jam. Chicken and mac and cheese, honestly. So let's see. I got me some Chick-fil-A mac and cheese and some tenders with some sriracha sauce. Usually when I come out this way, which is only like 2 times per month, I will treat myself to that, and I'm gonna scarf that down and go to the bins next. All right, I'm here. I got a weird shadow going on. I'm here at the Goodwill outlet bins. I don't have a ton of time, to be honest with you. I'm gonna have to race through, which usually isn't the greatest plan for the bins, but it is what it is. I only really get 1 day a week to source, so I'm going to head on in there and see if I can find anything in the limited time that I have. So far, I'm really happy with this part of the haul. A lot of really solid bread and butter items, so I'm not mad about it. You guys know me, I'm not mad about it. I do look like a hot mess. Hot mess chick. My favorite Columbia, one of them. Eyes are looking blue today. All right, I'm going in, guys. Here, I'm finally bringing out my Goodwill bins. Very short trip out to the car. You can see my items in my cart. I didn't get a ton, but that's okay because I only had a little bit of time. All right, my hour and a half is already up and it went very quickly. It started out really slow, but I finished with like a bag and a half, which really honestly isn't too bad for the time frame. Some interesting items. It was very busy as always. No shock there. I do wish I had a little bit more time, but I think next week, instead of going to the regular Goodwill first, I will go to the bins if I come this way. Like I said, I kind of rotate a bunch of different locations. I'm hot. I probably should take this sweatshirt off, but so I might go to the bins next week. It might be the week after, but either way, I think I need to prioritize the bins first because my cost of goods is so good there. I found some decent things. Found a couple brand name, a couple style-based, vintage. Yeah, it was okay. So now I'm racing home to get my sons. Not racing, very safely going to get my sons. And then I still need to do a little bit of shipping, probably listing. My son has baseball practice and I need to make dinner. All right. Hey everyone, I am now officially in my office for the day. Let's do a quick recap. So I got my kids to school by 7. I had a few just small packages to get into my mailbox this morning. I left by 8 a.m. To go to Goodwill and to the Goodwill outlet bins. I first started by going to the regular Goodwill, and this is one that's pricey and does not have any discounts, so it's really only in my rotation maybe once a month, and I did okay. I got some solid bread and butter, a couple decent like higher $30, $40, $50 sales, but mostly bread and butter, things I'm going to make about $15 profit, which if you know, that's the basis of my business model. So that's okay. Some really nice plus size items I'm super happy about. I might try on a couple. I can't even lie. If we're going into like spring, summer, lots of activities, events, and I might want a couple new things for my wardrobe. Although, I actually chuckled with 2 other ladies who were in the plus size section searching for clothes. And I literally have an entire closet, and I don't have my house is old. It's like 100 years old. Just a normal size closet of stuff and of clothes. Most of the time, I have nothing to wear. And I have a lot of things. I really need to try to step outside my comfort zone. I mean, you guys know, if you've been watching me now for a couple months, I always look the same. Most of the, I would say 90% of the time. Every once in a while, you'll get me in here and I'll have makeup on and I might look cute. Maybe. Most of the time, it's a Columbia zip up, messy hair, don't care, which is fine. But I'm just saying, I really should open up my avenues of what to wear. But I might try on, actually, I know I'm going to try on a couple of things that I got today, and we'll see how that goes. But, so that took up the majority of my time. So I pick up my kids and I I drop off my kids and I pick up my kids at certain times, and then I get like the 6 hours in between that time frame in order to do what I need to do. And unfortunately, the Goodwill bins that I go to is an hour away, solid hour. So it only leaves so many hours in the middle. So I spent 3 hours at the regular Goodwill and I found solid things. I'm happy about it. No complaints here. A couple decent things that I'm excited about. And then I spent about an hour, like an hour and a half. I always push the limit. I'm like, oh, if I leave right now, I can get them right on time. So I spent about an hour, hour and a half at the Goodwill bins. And honestly, I did okay. Like I got one okay bag and then like a half bag, like, you know, kind of just like a mix of things for that time period. And really for that much time, that's fine, because if you're going to the Goodwill bins, you really need to give yourself at least a few hours to do something with that. And today was even more packed. My sisters and I were just talking about how our Goodwill bins just continues to get more packed and more packed and more packed. Today, they were getting yelled at. You can't source from the ends of our Goodwill bins, and you're like literally elbow to elbow the whole way down. People getting screamed at. Stay behind the line. Do you guys have people like that at your Goodwill bins? Don't touch until you're allowed to. Like our lady, she's probably perfect for the role, because she doesn't take any crap, and you better listen to her, and there's certain rules and you better follow them or you're in trouble. Now, most of the time, 90% of the time, I don't go in the original like set, because I like my space. I'm not made for the throwing bows part of the Goodwill bins. Some people are. I mean, clearly, because I watched them today throw bows at each other. And I usually wait till it gets cleared out a little bit, and then I'll sneak my way in there. Do I miss out on stuff? Yeah, I know that. That's okay. But so that part of the day was my thrifting part of the day. You saw I got my favorite Chick-fil-A. There's no Chick-fil-A around here, so I am a sucker for a good chicken tender and a good mac and cheese and a lemonade, okay? Don't hate on me. It's my guilty pleasure when I go to the bins. I get it like twice a month, and the manager there knows me by name, basically. Not because I go there every day, but like every time I'm like, hey, I'm so excited to get my chicken nuggets today. Like, he's very nice, and he's always there, and yeah, I enjoy their mac and cheese. So then I raced home. I got my sons. I actually spent like 20 minutes on the couch with my boys, just sitting there. Like, a lot of times when my sons are getting out of school, they just need to like veg out. And I get it, because they've been in school. They've been expected to behave a certain way and do their homework and do all the things. So we all just sat, boop. And then I did some gardening. So if you see like dirty hands, I'm a gardener, so I tried to fit in some gardening, some planting some seeds, some working some soil. And now here I am. It's like 7:30 at night, and I have some shipping to do. Guys, my eBay suddenly popped off. I don't even know what happened. I have 8 orders. It says my total's like $200. So, and actually I know I have 2 on Poshmark as well. So it's 7:30. I need to still list and ship. You guys ever wonder why some of my videos at night, this is just a tank top. If you ever wonder at night where I'm like, so this sold and I'm so tired, it's because I'm always burning the midnight oil. I will probably be up till probably 11 and then try to relax and go to bed and be up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, which isn't super early. My husband gets up at 4, but he goes to bed a lot earlier than me. And quite frankly, I need my beauty rest. Clearly. Anyways, so that's where we're at in this process. I need to do my shipping. I need to list. And then I'm hoping to do, at the very end of this, just a very small haul that goes with this day. Actually, it's not super small. It's a haul. So this one might actually end up being kind of long. Just to show you what I did day in the life. That's all the things I did for the day as a mama on a mission, as a reseller. The haul will show you a lot of really solid bread and butter. My brain's already shutting down. It's not even 8 o'clock. A lot of really solid bread and butter and a couple good things that I'm excited about. And honestly, in the 1 hour and a half I was there at the bins, I actually found some decent things. I almost wish I could have stayed longer because I wondered what else I might have found, but that's the way it goes. So I'm going to do my shipping, and hopefully at the end of this, there'll be a haul to finish the day. All right, guys, we're finally getting to the haul portion of the video, and I can't lie, I did not make it that night getting to the haul portion. I got my listings done, which is always priority for me, and I went to bed. I was too tired to do this haul video. So obviously I started out the day getting my kids to school and racing around. I went to a regular Goodwill and to the Goodwill bins. Now I spent too much time at the regular Goodwill, which is fine, and only left me a little bit of time to go to the outlet bins. I mentioned in one of my last couple videos ago that I was feeling a little bit exhausted as far as the thrifting part goes. And I was telling you guys that going to some of these thrift stores and stuff, it was seeming more like a job, and I feel bad for saying that. But like I've mentioned before, the fun part about being a reseller is the hunt for the goodies, right? Finding the treasures. And I was feeling a little exhausted. So again, today I took an approach, even at the regular Goodwill, that if I felt good about the item, just to get it. Don't overwork yourself looking at solds if you don't want to. And that's not a good approach. You guys, don't listen to me. Look at your solds. Do those things. But I was feeling exhausted and just not having the fun of the thrifting. So the last like 2 hauls, I took a different approach, and just, if I felt good about it, the price was decent, I was just going to get it. And I have a lot of good bread and butter, which this one on top, I did look up the sold. So I'm not saying I didn't do part of my job, what I should be doing. But I just wanted to make sure it was fun. And I do feel better, if I can say that. I do feel better that I was less stressing myself about sell-through rates and, all the comps and just like all of those things, and just enjoyed my trip. So it was like a bag and a half that I got at the Goodwill outlet, which only ended up being like $40. And actually and then this is all my regular thrift stuff. So these will be full price items. I did have points. This thrift store does not do any discounts, but they have a point system. So I usually get like $1 off per item because I do spend quite a bit of money at a full price thrift store. This all is going to be, I did not hit the normal, it's at 50 pounds at my Goodwill outlet, you get a discount. If you do not hit 50 pounds, it's $1.59 per pound. Or if you hit that 50 pounds, it's $1.29 per pound. 99% of the time I hit 50 pounds and I get it at $1.29. However, I had limited time and found, I only had an hour and a half. That's really not enough time to go to the outlet. So I did pay $1.59 per pound for this, but I'm not really worried about it. So let's get into the items. If you've made it all the way to the end here, bless you. I love you. And hopefully I'll show you something that's fun or important or a learning experience, which I want to just pull these out. I was shocked. I do have my computer right here. And I looked up the solds at the bins. See this? It says Swanee. And I was like, oh, these look really nice. They look like a ski or maybe even like a snowmobile glove. So I looked them up. It said Swanee Triplex. And the solds were fantastic. Now, I've mentioned before, sometimes if you can get really good at understanding a certain market, what the golfers are looking for, what skiers or snowmobilers are looking for, those types of things, then you could really hone in on and have an expertise. I don't have an expertise in this. I thought they looked like really nice gloves, and I just looked comps real quick. And this has a like 80% sell-through. There was, and especially considering it's not really cold right now, no one's really going skiing a whole lot. On the Swanee Triplex gloves, the sell-through rate was like 80%. There was 59 available for sale and 40 had sold in the last, 90 days. However, it's not even winter season, so I feel like that is a fantastic sell-through rate. I love finding items when you can just open it up and it says right inside, men's extra large. Like, I don't even have to guess what size it is. Are they men's? That is always great for me. I love that. They have a lot of really nice details. Look, there's a zipper pocket, so you could put maybe your chapstick or your keys or something in it. They have adjustable straps. I'm assuming they're partial leather. You know what these are going for? So they're a little bit heavier, but I'm going to say I paid $1 for them. $30 to $40 for this pair of gloves. Right now, not even in skiing winter season. Pretty good. Swanee, snowmobile, skiing. Whoops. That was just I'm throwing it in a box right here. Great sell-through rate. Great item. Only at the bins. I'm very happy with that. So let's see what else we got in here. This looks like a style-based piece. Ooh, and I remember that. So in the store, they were trying to get $6.99 for this, but this is a bins item. Style & Co. This is an older tag, size 4. Style & Co. I do okay with Style & Co. modern items, but this is a Y2K halter, tie around the neck, boho dress. Really pretty print here, with the florals and the patch. It's almost got like a color block or patchwork style. This is boho all day. Hippie, festival. This is cottagecore for sure. All of those reasons why I picked it up. It's at least a midi, maybe a maxi. I'll have to do some measurements on it. But so this is definitely a style-based pickup. I did not pick it up mainly for the brand. It is also Y2K based on the tag. So great style-based pickup here. I'm going to list this at $29. And I honestly don't think I'll have any problem selling it in that $25 range. Here's my... Yeah, I only got 23 pounds, 40 bucks. Oh, well. Those two items already paid for my haul. If you think about it, the Swanee gloves, I'm going to probably list at $39 plus shipping. That dress, I am doing $29 plus shipping. So right there, I'm already getting into the profit based on everything else that's left in these bags. We'll throw in this too. This will be part of paying off what it cost, but I'm going to be in the profit really quickly. Tailbots, pure cashmere. Now this needs some work. I felt it though. It's super soft. Black never comes up on my camera very well. It just needs a sweater shave, and that's pretty common with cashmere, wools, alpacas, those types of things. It is 100% cashmere. Tailbots is a decent size, decent brand, and it's an extra large, which is a great size. Again, a little bit out of season. However, I pick up cashmere all year long, and at the bins, this is a no-brainer. This, again, will probably be a list at $29. What is this? A little nightie. It has a beautiful, like, lace detail there. This is vintage. Look at this tag. Moments. I love looking at vintage tags. The brands are so funny. It is a paper tag, and it says right here, made in USA. Paper tag. 100% polyester. What would make this a better nightie, vintage nightie to sell if it was 100% silk? But it does have some lacy details, which is very pretty. I liked this print. At first, I thought it was a butterfly, but it's bows. Actually, butterfly might be better. But this is great. This is cheap. Even at the higher cost point, this cost me 50 cents. Nightie slip is a beautiful floral. Made in the USA, vintage tag. Again, that's a $29 list for me. I think think I got this for my family, for me. It is a 2XL Under Armour. Now, I've mentioned before, like some of those bread and butter brands, the market is saturated and you might not get a whole lot, but Adidas, Under Armour, Nike. But if you're okay with selling things for 15, 20, 25, then it still might be a pickup, especially at the bins. This is really long. And my Sasquatch family, we need long things. So I'm going to throw this to the side as something we're going to try on. If not, I'll list it. That would sell a 2XL Under Armour hoodie in good condition would probably sell in the $20 range. If you get performance wear or like a certain like Nike Combat does really well. If you get some of those performance lines or collaborations, that's where you can really make some good money. But we're going to try this on. Oh, I loved this. I'm going to try that on. My son's going to try that on. It looks nice and long. I need to get this listed ASAP. At first, I got excited thinking it was a brand that I never find, which is Michael Simon. It's not Simon. He specializes in funky sweaters. However, just as good is my old pal, Quacker Factory. I've sold this brand for years, and I love finding their pieces because they're so fun. Look at this. Oh my gosh, I just love this. This, I don't know. And it has even a graphic, some embroidery in the back there. Look at the butterflies. Oh my gosh, I got to get this listed before summer's over. I love the embroidery details. Quacker Factory is something to look for. I've sold it for years. It still sells fairly well. Look for things that have something like this. Some kind of fun design, detail, pattern. This is a large, which is an okay size. I do a little bit better in plus size. It's Rammy, which people do look for Rammy pieces. And it says made in Hong Kong, so that gives me the impression based off the tag that this probably is a vintage piece. It doesn't matter. Look at the butterflies. Look at them. This for sure I'll list at $29, maybe even $39 because of the print. Do you guys like that? Oh my gosh. It's so cute. This was a fun find. So look, in the store, they were trying to get $18.99 for this dress. And this is what happens when Goodwill's overprice things. They're not moving things and everything is stacked, packed. They end up at the bins and then I buy it for $1. Now this is kind of out of season. However, it is a new with tags Draper James. Draper James. I know the tag. Here it is. This light blue color. This is a good brand to keep an eye out for. The price says $78. Tiered hem wrap dress, and obviously a very Valentine's-y print. So this may sit until Valentine's Day because it's all over hearts. But you could also put in romantic, you know, heart print, obviously, love. It's very bold and bright and really pretty. So they tried to get $18.99 for it in the store. Didn't sell. I bought it for $1. I'm going to list this probably for at least $29. Brand new with tags. A unique print, so it may sit a little bit longer. What is this? Oh, a Harley. And I was looking at this. I don't know how you guys are, but I'm like, why did nobody pick this up? There's got to be a stain. There's got to be something missing. And even with Harley, though, that's one of the few brands where I may still pick something up at the bins if it has a small flaw with Harley stuff because people love their Harley. I was like, it's got to be missing something. I didn't see anything. Maybe someone just threw it back. Maybe, I don't know. I was just at the right place at the right time. Harley Davidson, that is a newer tag. It has this rhinestone zipper. I do believe this is women's. It has rhinestone buttons, and it has this rhinestone back. Harley. You don't even really need keywords for this. Harley stuff sells on its own. I really tried to look. Is there a stud missing? Even if there was, I would still list it. It's a very cool piece. I paid $1 for this at the bins. I'm assuming I'm going to list that in the $29 range over and over if you guys are getting sick of me saying that. $29, $29, $39. This is also for my son. Brewers. I'm a Wisconsin, so he'll be excited. He's a sports guy. In fact, I just saw him and he's Packers head to toe. We're in Wisconsin, so those are our teams. Already done with this half, but this is going to go pretty long. This will probably be one of my longest videos ever. Again, this was in the regular store for $9.99. It's Toad & Co. I do fairly well with Toad & Co. This is a dress. It's like a shirt dress. Pretty simple. The colors are pretty neutral. You know, nothing too exciting here. It does have pockets. Toad & Co. is a brand that I do like to pick up, primarily because they usually have a good material content. Yeah, hemp and organic cotton. So that is great. Again, this cost me $1 or less. It's pretty lightweight. Toad & Co. Organic cotton and hemp dress. Very basic piece. Again, I'll probably list that in the $29 range. Ooh, Pendleton. I think I wasn't sure if I should pick this up, but my son's name is Mason, and this is the Mason style shirt. I don't know how you guys are, but when I get like, it's like the universe is talking to me. I'm like, well, this is a Mason. I can't leave it there. It's my son's name. Pendleton, made in China, extra large. It's a light flannel button down. It's really nice. Pendleton, you really want to look for more like vintage items, 100% wools, maybe blazers. I really don't know what the comps, should I look it up quick? What the comps on this. I'm going to look up Pendleton, Mason. Pendleton, Mason, flannel shirt. And we'll just see. Also, this is a little bit out of season right now. So always keep that in mind. That's why I was surprised about those ski gloves. The solds right now, you know, for the last 90 days, it's May, right? So who's really buying a lot of ski gloves in that time period? So sometimes you have to take that in consideration with your solds, because really you're going to sell something like a light flannel in maybe late August, because then you're getting into when people are thinking about fall. September, October, November. That's December. So the solds on those gloves were kind of interesting. Here's one, Pendleton Mason flannel shirt, men's XL, which is what this is. It's sold for $31 pre-owned. This one sold for $15 pre-owned. This one sold for $22, $35, $25, $21. So I guess I'm going to list this at $29 is what my guess is. Very nice, good color, great condition. Cost me $1. What else? This looks like a style-based piece to me. Is it inside out? I think it's inside. There it is. Gigi. Like I just love these Gigi Y2K brands, made in the USA, size 2X skirt. This is style based for me. This is Y2K, and it's plus size, which is great. It has this ruffle at the end. This style base I'll probably list around $25. It is a midi dress. I'll put witchy, goth, maybe whimsy, fairy goth. That, you know, this was a style-based pickup. It's great that it's plus size 2X. What else we got in here? Toad & Co. again. Maybe someone was getting rid of their Toad & Co. collection. Just a great brand. Let's see if this one has a quality material. Tencel lyocell, which is a great material you want to pay attention to, and organic cotton. So another great Toad & Co. piece. Dress, long sleeve, it's floral. A lot of times Toad & Co. dresses will sell on their own, but you can put in for this. It gives me like kind of a little bit of like prairie or cottagecore with the floral print. Just a very nice color, great material, good brand. Another $29. Ooh, this looks heavy. What is this? This is out of season for sure. Banana Republic, which I normally don't pick up a whole lot. It says Heritage Collection. I'm guessing, yeah, this is 100% wool. So that's why I picked it up. Again, you know, you'll have to be careful in looking up comps for this, because a lot of people aren't buying wool coats right now. This is a little bit heavier, so I probably paid $2 to $3 for it. It has a nice double zipper here I'm trying, and buttons, which is really nice. Solid gray, size large, 100% wool. I'm going to look it up just for fun. Again, the comps, you know, are going to be a little bit skewed. Heritage. Because it's not the right time period. But at the bins, 100% wool. One sold in March for $55, $35. That's not exactly what mine is. A lot of 35s here. Oh, here's one, $42. It sold in May. So people are still buying wool coats. I don't know. It looks like the Heritage collection had a lot of different pieces. You would want to look for, you know, your exact item. But at the bins for the cost, size large is an okay size, 100% wool. It's really nice. It has the zipper and the double pockets. It looks like that'll sell in the $30 to maybe even $40 range. I'll probably price it a little bit higher, knowing that it's not in season, and then wait. Now, I was torn on whether or not I should pick this up because the condition is a little questionable. This is late 2000s, like it's not a Y2K piece, but it is like 14 years old. Victoria's Secret extra small, made in Sri Lanka. This is something you want to look out for, is this fold over yoga pant with some kind of writing. If you can get the one that says pink or has a dog on the back and it's a little bit older piece, if it says like 2003, that's a real great sale. I still picked this up because it was the bins. It cost me 75 cents. Says VS. See, this is a fold over. So it may sit like this, like on a regular hanger, like in a store. And then they fold it over. This was the style back then. I had a pair of these. Fold over, Victoria's Secret, even Hollister. This is like a boot cut flare, which is good because people are looking more for that style right now rather than the skinny. I'm going to assume I will list this in the $25 range. If you can find the right fold over yoga pant from the 2000s, maybe with the bolder fold over graphic on the back and maybe a better size because that's only extra small, you could be in the $30, $40, $50 range. Look it up. You think I'm crazy? Calling you out. Look it up. Y2K fold over Victoria's Secret pants. Now this is great. Oh my gosh, I did pretty well considering I only had a little bit of time. This is Victoria's Secret. I don't know if this is like a vintage. I think this is a vintage tag. Look at this tag. They have other lines like Lotus, which is usually like more of an earthy. Lucky Brand is earthy as it is, but suitable for framing. Established 1990, 100% cotton. And it's like a cardigan, a hooded cardigan with a tie. Lucky Brand is selling pretty well for me. It always really has, but it seems like it's making a little bit of a comeback. It's got pockets. My gut says that this is a vintage Lucky Brand, and vintage Lucky Brand will do better, but it's 100% cotton, open cardigan with a tie. That's a $29 list for me. Ooh, I have some shoes at the bottom here. I was hoping this would make it home without any type of stain. Ugh. Lighter colors like this are so hard, especially at the bins, because I have bad eyes. I always joke with my family, with my friends, I'm going to be the worst senior citizen ever. I have a lot of health issues. On top of, I can't see and I can't hear. I've been going to an eye doctor. My eye doctor literally tells me that I'm a lifer. Like I'm going to have ear problems for my whole life. I'm basically blind. I mean, I'm just going to be the worst. No one's going to want me in their senior home. Okay. So when I'm looking at things like this, my eyes are like crossing, trying to make sure that it doesn't have a flaw on it. Oh, this is a Nation Ltd, which is a great brand that you do want to, is it Ltd or Here it is. Yeah, LTD. This is a brand you want to keep an eye out for. New with tags. That's why I was so like, is this stained? Because it's new with tags at the bins, made in Peru. Pima cotton. That's the Cadillac of cotton, is Pima cotton. 100%. New with tags. This is a great pickup. Unless I find a stain when I go to list it. I don't think there's a stain. It's got a cute little tie-in back. The brand is great. Nation LTD, Pima cotton. I'm assuming I'm going to list it at least $29. Let's see. Here's a pre-owned one that looks very similar to mine. $29, $29, $25, $35. Okay. Nation LTD, new with tags. I'm now going to say I'm listing that at $39. What do we have here? This feels nice. Is there no tag? Oh, you know what? There was no tag, but then I saw this. You guys see it? I felt the material. That's why I don't wear gloves. These lucky hands. I was like, this feels so nice. What is this? I'm looking around and all of a sudden the Lululemon. This is probably why it was sitting there. It was in an old bin at the bottom because no one saw this. Now, Lululemon, a lot of times their tags are taken out and then you have to look for. Usually if there's like a pocket or on the underside, there's a little circle or square dot. So that might be the difficult part. This tag is in really good condition though. So I may have to find, the material is so nice. This one I'll have to do a little bit research on. I'm assuming this will be a $25 sale because it's not super substantial. Lululemon, you know, you have to be a little bit pickier on the more basic items like basic tanks and stuff. You're not going to get $1 million. If you can find like a really nice zip up jacket, those types of things, that's where you get more money. The material feels great, but I'm going to have to figure that out because, you know, sometimes it's like that. Now here's a brand that I do sell quite a bit. Trek. This is a collab with Allegra. Allegra. And that is a great brand. Non-marking. So this must be a collab because it says Track by Allegra. But I sell this brand all the time. Another brand that I do a lot in is Spring Step. You know, these sandals, they're strappy. They have adjustments. They're in great condition. Look at these soles. Great condition. Again, probably $29. Here's another shoe. What do we got here? Oh, this is Teos. Why anybody left this behind, I have no idea. Teos. You know, because I was coming in at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything's kind of picked through. They're still doing new rows, but I had limited time, Taos, great shoe brand to look out for. Taos. They only had $6.99 for these in a store. I might have even thought about buying these in a regular store for full price. Because Teos is a great brand. Is that how you say it? Taos. You want to look out for that brand. These are all from the bins. Handmade in USA. Spica? S-B-I-C-C-A. Handmade in USA. Again, I need to get a lot of these up because we're in the season of sandals and I don't want to miss it. That's new. These are going for about $20. Here's a $35. Here's a $28. I'm guessing I'll list these at about $25. This cute wedge with the crochet top here. Handmade in USA. I'm running out of room to put my stuff already. I don't know if I'm going to get to the other bags, you guys. What are these? Ted Baker. Now, this is one of those designer brands that doesn't always sell for as much as you'd think. Ted Baker is a great brand. If you can get it at the bins, it's probably always a pickup. Look at how nice these are. Men's like ankle boots. They're in great condition. Again, no idea why someone left these behind. I will Google Lens these to find the style. They're in great condition. I'm just assuming these are going to be another $25 to $30 sale. I'm going to just look it up real quick and see. Ted Baker men's boots. They're like an ankle boot. I would have to find the size to really know. But again, it's hard because I've found Ted Baker pieces like less substantial, like tanks, tops, and I've put them back because the comps were just not warranted buying them, especially at full price. Here's 30, 39, 35. Here's a pair that only went for $15. I don't know why. 35, 58, 57. Sometimes you have to throw out those anomalies. Like, why did one person sell them for only like $18? I don't know. A lot of these are $30, $40. Here's a 20. These are in great condition. It's a great style. I mean, look at the bottoms of these. Look, they were trying to get $14.99 in a regular, at the regular Goodwill. Teva. I sell these all the time, especially when I get them at the bins. They're in great condition. This is just a basic. I'm guessing like 20 bucks for these. A shoe brand you want to keep an eye out for. Can you believe I got these brands at the bin? These are the shoes I'm getting at the bins. Teva, Ted Baker. I mean, what is happening? Taos, T-A-O-S. My guess is a lot of them, they price them too high in a store and people don't want to pay that. And then they end up at the bin. And then I pick them up for $1. Cole Haan. Now, I do well, I've mentioned this before, with Cole Haan Nike Air collab. Look at this. Did anybody even wear these? You didn't walk very far in them, whoever they were, because these are in great condition. They were only asking $6.99 because the price is still on there. So I really can't, that's not a terrible price, honestly, for Nike, Cole Haan Nike Air collab. They're a Mary Jane style shoe. I like selling these. I usually do pretty well. Nike, Cole Haan. We'll just put in Mary Jane and see if anything comes up. First one's pre-owned, $38, $25, $30. So again, I'm guessing I paid, based on the weight, $1.50 to $2 for this pair of shoes, and I'm going to list them at $29. Great style with the Mary Jane. They do look like a bigger size. I didn't see. Sometimes you really have to search, like, to find the, and I look like to find the size or the details, and I look like a dummy because I'm like, oh yeah, they're size 11. And that's a great size for a women's shoe because that's a higher size and harder to find. Now this looks like a style-based shoe at the bottom here. And it absolutely is. This is vintage Y2K Steve Madden. Ooh, and they have the nice chunky. You guys, if you're just listening to me, but you can look at the screen for just a moment, this is a great style-based shoe to keep your eye out for right now. It's my lighting with cooperate. This is witchy, gothic, academia, teacher. It's a ton of different style-based words. It's Y2K. The Steve Madden is, that's the old tag. Look at this chunky heel. I sell these all the time. And a lot of times people don't think they're worth anything. So obviously I got them at the bins. Solatech. They're still in great condition. This is a style-based pickup, a shoe that might not be priced up because it doesn't look like anything fantastic. A lot of times you do want the black or darker colors, the chunky heel. It looks like a teacher shoe. This is witchy, this is gothic, all those things. There's a couple scuffs, but they're really not that bad of shape. These are fantastic. If some of these go for a ton, honestly. What am I going to look up? Chunky shoe. Here's one right off the bat. 36. 55. Oh, here's one. It says Skechers Y2K Vintage. It's literally this shoe, but Skechers. Sold yesterday. $49. I've sold these in the $30 range several times. You're looking for an older tag, vintage Y2K. You want chunky and like kind of that teacher vibe, academia. Do I have time to continue this haul? Let me think here. This is the regular portion of, this is going to take me a lot longer, you guys. I think I'm going to clip this at this part and then do another video. And if I'm feeling like it, I'll put them together. If not, this will be part 2, which is the regular that I did all in the same day. That was the bins part of the trip. I only had an hour and a half. Quite frankly, I am super pumped about that. I think those were great pickups. Remember, I only paid $40 for it in total, even at $1.59 per pound. These shoes alone, I mean, this shoe could go for $40, okay? The hard part at the bins, especially mine, is super competitive. A lot of it's picked over. It's a lot of work, you guys. It's a lot of time. That's why in an hour and a half, it's not enough time to go to the bins. I follow McThriftsy, and a lot of her hauls, she'll have 50, 60, 70 items, but she will tell you, I spent 12 hours and it was 3 trips in order to get those 50 items. So I also understand why some people are like, nah, no bins, I'm good. Because honestly, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of competition. People are fighting all the time at mine. People are rude. Sorry. I don't like being negative, but you know, people will throw stuff at you. They'll pick right out of your cart. You know, the bins needs a reality show because it's like the bins people, featuring the, you know, the t-shirt bros and all these different dynamics that are there. It's just not for everyone, but I did great. So I'm happy. I try to stay out of everybody's way. I'm not a fighter. I mean, I will if I have to, but I try not to put myself in those situations. This is probably a $40 sale. I'm going to do a part 2, and that will be the regular Goodwill haul.